So this is my little studio. Before it was an old garage, so I reconstructed the floors, the walls, and all this equipment I bought one by one in London, moved it over here when I moved to Barcelona, and now living the dream. It was a long adventure all around the world to get here. I was born in a small mountain town in Slovakia, where there are not so many opportunities to find jobs and not so many varieties to study a career. I originally studied veterinary medicine because I was completely convinced that's the only profession in the world I want to do. But as soon as I finished the university, it was really difficult to find a job. So I was cleaning Tesco and sending out CVs all around the world for 1.5 years until I finally found a vet in Australian Outback who sponsored my visa, and then I went to work there. I was working there for nearly 2 years and I had to come back to Europe because my visa was expired, and they had all these evaluation exams for veterinary boards and stuff like that. So it was really difficult to pass, and of course I didn't pass those exams. So I had to come back, but since I was 15, I was always involved with the music and the recordings, and I was trying to write my own songs, and it never worked out because I didn't know how to do all these things. And when I came to Australia, we had a little band and we were playing on rodeos and all that stuff, and I really enjoyed it. So I started to think about my whole life. On my way back home from Sydney, I met a girl from my hometown who changed my whole life. She said to me, "Look, is it better to study a new career all over again or do something that you actually don't like for the rest of your life?" And I said, "Yeah." So I went home. I I was reconstructing the house from my grandparents because it was falling apart. So all the money I made in Australia, I basically spent on that. And suddenly I got this idea to go to London, and I made the decision I will start to study now. So I went there with my bicycle and £200 that I had left, and found my accommodation in the newspaper on the airport, and it was a Turkish property. The landlord was really nice because the rent for the room was 350 a month, and normally you have to pay this in advance, but I only had 200. So I gave him the 200 and I said, okay, that's all I have. And he let me stay anyway. And he said, okay, but you have to give me the rest by the end of the month. So I was the next day hungry, cycling all around London to find a job immediately to be able to pay back. I already had debts. I only came. So cycling all around London looking for jobs, and I found a job really quick. It was a waiting job in an Italian restaurant on the other end of London. So luckily I had this bicycle, so I could always cycle there and back, not to spend money on public transport, which is very expensive in London. So I wouldn't make any money if I paid the transport. I was really looking forward to go to the studio where I studied audio recordings, and like all the people were very cool there, and it was like suddenly I was in a completely different world. like I lived before, with all this equipment and all the buttons, and completely lost at the beginning. I was like Alice in Wonderland. Didn't at the beginning I was completely lost, but it was fine. It was a great experience and really busy times because studying whole weekend, working during the week, studying at night for the classes. And so I don't actually know London very well because my day was 24 hours occupied with something. So after finishing my audio career, I pretty quickly found a job with a major audiovisual company, working in London hotels as a AV technician, and I kept studying more courses to complement with these audio studies. So first I studied video director, and then to to make it all visible, I studied web design to make my own website and to create my own company, which was based on all these multimedia productions. And I started it in London already. So after I was finished with my old studies, my life continued the same way because I was doing a full-time job, and instead of studying at night, I was doing my own little projects, own little audio or video projects to make the portfolio for my new company. And so not sleeping again, but my living conditions improved because I bought a bed finally. So everything was getting much better as I did the new career and had my own little company. Was very enthusiastic about doing all these things, but there was a problem because I was starting feeling sick in London. Like I was starting to have many health problems. First was the asthma that I had from my childhood, but it was not such a problem in small mountain town. Neither was it a problem in outback Australia, as it started to be a big problem in London. I was waking up at night, I couldn't breathe, and then also my bones were not feeling very well because I have a calcium problem, like a calcium absorption problem, and I also had a quite bad knee injury while skiing in Slovakia. Very happy, and with a little bit of vodka, and then fell and turned my knee all around. So like ligaments were torn apart, and they operated on it, and they took out the loose pieces like meniscus and stuff like that. But it's still like with the rainy weather, humidity, and like the climate in London, I really felt really bad. Also with the scoliosis on my back, and like it all came together that I couldn't stay there anymore. So luckily my primary employment, the big AV company, got some contracts with two new hotels in Barcelona. So it was a really great transition because I came here with a job. I didn't have to worry about anything until in the crisis the company closed down Spain. So I was just left with my small little multimedia production company, which was very hard times to make it work, especially in the crisis where big companies were closing. So I had to I had to cut all my expenses, like leave my flat. So I'm just living in a small room with a friend from Slovakia, and have this little studio here and trying to survive as everybody does. Even though life is not very easy in Barcelona at the moment, I still keep doing many things which doesn't cost a lot of money. Like, for example, I take my bicycle, I go to the beach, I can do many sports. I'm doing Kudo, which is a mixed martial art. It really improved my health incredibly. Like, I have no problem with asthma anymore. I could ice skate again after nearly 6 years having problem with my knee, and it kind of got stronger. My scoliosis got better as I built some muscles all around it, and it's supporting the spinal cord, and it's really good. Recommend it. So the downside of Barcelona, you need to have 2 locks, because once I had only one, and this is the result. Somebody was trying to steal the front wheel, and as I started to ride a bike, I fell. So, playing guitar in the park and the music comes handy again, as it many times already saved my life. So at the moment I'm doing this, and let's see, still hoping for better times to arrive here too. Okay, gracias. I walk alone, I walk alone. Atrévete a escapar de tus temores, atrévete a volar entre mis brazos, atrévete a darme tus ganas, tus noches, tus sueños, tu entrega, tus besos. Atrévete a abrirme las puertas de tu alma y tu cuerpo. Atrévete a probar de lo prohibido. Atrévete a aceptar lo que no has sido. Atrévete a ver el deseo que quema tus manos, tu vientre, tu pecho. Atrévete a ser tú la dueña de mi corazón. Atrévete a quererme como te amo yo. Atrévete a entregarme tus secretos, tus caprichos, tu silencio. Porque no habrá quien te ame tanto como yo. Que el cielo en cada beso, cada pensamiento, en cada roce de tu aliento. Atrévete a morir en mi locura. Atrévete a sentir tanta ternura. Atrévete a ser mi pecado, mi luna, mi sol, mi obsesión, mi pasado. Atrévete a darme las alas de tu dulce